What's going on, people? Welcome to another edition of Throwback Thursday. This Thursday we are looking at Ninja Gaiden 2. Ninja Gaiden, or is it Gaiden? I call it Gaiden 2. Developed and I think published by Team Ninja. And it's one of the rare games that I enjoy that I am also terrible at, because you know it's a known fact that this game in general is very hard. It is very hard to get used to. Now this is actually a DLC mode, mission mode, and basically in this area I need to eliminate all the enemies. There's other missions available as well where it's an unlimited amount of enemies with a specific weapon, or it's 100 enemies, or all the bosses and stuff like that. So it's very good for variation. It's very good for practicing as well. It's kind of a shame in a way that they didn't have this DLC included in my eyes, because it would have served, especially this level as well, which is just basic enemies, and it gives you a good chance to get the practice in. But that is something that you really must do with this game, and is practice, because this genre is kind of my weakness. I just can't get used to how relentless this game is. Don't get me wrong, I like it, you know what I mean, but like I said, I am terrible, and it's because obviously it's not really an action adventure title. Let's take Batman Arkham Asylum for example. When you're fighting in that, it's all kind of in rhythm, you know what I mean, and pretty easy to just get used to straight away, and the enemies don't really surround you and massacre you at once, you know what I mean, whereas this game is just full on, like you're the ninja, there's all your enemies, and they just go at you non-stop. And you know, I'm not too bad in one-on-one situations, but even then I'm still finding myself doing a lot of blocking, a lot of evading, you know what I mean, because there's, you know, as you can expect, there's a lot of mechanics to this game. There's the weapons that you would have seen in the menu. There's you know, the dragon sword. My favourite is this one, the lunar staff. There's the double swords. There's, you know, ball and chain type weapons. There's all sorts of weapons, and they've all got very unique combos, and a lot of combos at that. Now, to be successful in this game, in regards to completing the game on the hardest difficulty, you've got to really be a master of the basics and know which combos to use at the right time. It's very, but that's what I like about the game. There's a lot to it. It's like, you'll see in this video, I am 90% of the time I am always trying to get the enemy into this move right there. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically, I guess you could class it as a grapple move, an air throw type thing, and it's a one kind of combo kill on the enemy. But obviously I can't do it against the likes of these big purple goblin things, you know what I mean. The other strong attack is that one, couple of spins, and then he just like full on cracks him down the head, and you know, pretty much breaks him apart. That does a lot of damage as well, and you can tell it does when you're fighting bosses, because bosses come with health meters, and when you manage to pull off that combo against them, it hurts. But you know, as you can see, it's not just a case of getting one enemy, doing one combo against one enemy, because you'll just get annihilated by the others. You've got to be so consistently strategic, and it's hard as hell. I mean, I've completed it again recently on the easiest difficulty, so that I can do the whole new game plus thing. I'm currently going through the new game plus without actually trying to use any weapons, only the throwing weapons, because there's achievements, 5G achievements for completing the game, only using each specific weapon. But as many people know, you can get really far into the game without actually having to use a weapon. So if you save it at the right part, you can start using your weapon, complete the game, get the achievement, load it back up from that same point, pick another weapon, get your next achievement. But getting up to where people say you can get up to, which is like literally what, more than 3/4 of the way through the game without using your weapons, is pretty crazy. I mean, I think that takes a skill within itself. I'm not doing too bad so far, but I'm just finding myself running away from everything, and then if like the next bit's inaccessible because I've not killed the enemies, I'm having to stand there and use my special Nimpo attack, use me explosive whatever that is, shuriken, no, not shuriken, whatever that is, whatever they call that, the boomerang type shuriken thing as well, and my bow and arrows. So it's very challenging, and drop me mic. I wouldn't necessarily mind going through the game X amount of times with each weapons, but it is a very lengthy campaign. Not in a bad way, you know what I mean, because at the time, you know, people buying this game knew they were definitely getting value for money. You know what I'm saying? Going through the campaign once, for me, must have been at least 10, 11, 12 hours or something like that. It goes on for time, and it's very interesting as well. You know, it does start out not so much basic, but kind of, I guess you could say, normal, and then when you start getting into the deeper, darker sides of the story, you start seeing some very twisted, different worlds of the game. You know what I mean? But overall, fantastic game. Visually, it's brilliant. The only thing I don't like about the game is the keeping up with the camera angle. You know what I mean? Because I'm finding when I'm dashing about, doing my little run, jump, you know, fighting enemies surrounding me, you do have to do a lot of camera twisting, or sometimes just be happy with the way the camera is. Because if you're trying to get a combo together, you're trying to think about your next move and whatnot, your thumbs are kind of full. You don't have time to constantly twist the camera around. You can press the right trigger to put the camera back in the position behind your ninja, but doing that means you're taking your concentration away from putting your combos together. You know what I mean? But you know, as you can see in this footage, I'm not very good at the game. As I said before this kicked off, this is for defeating 100 enemies, and it comes up in the bottom right corner with every 10 that you kill. The only health I've got is, though, well, what can give me health back was those 2 herbs of spiritual life that I've just used. So now it's down to the blue part of the health meter at the top. So you can see this isn't going to end too well. But it's just about being persistent and quick. I mean, as you can imagine, I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube of people defeating bosses without being hit, and I just watch it and I'm like absolutely stunned and amazed. Honestly, because there's a boss in the game where you're in like a tunnel, underground tunnel, and it's this massive, like, you know, life-size metallic worm type thing. Well, I don't think it's metallic, but either way it's massive, and it just keeps speeding through the tunnel with ridiculous speeds, and you've got to use a certain charged up melee attack to stop it in its tracks, get it stuck, and then attack it. And I couldn't for the life of me time it right to hit it to make it stop. And the thing is with this game as well, you are punished when you mess up. If you get caught in an enemy's combo or an enemy's grapple, it sucks so much life from your meter is crazy. It does get frustrating, don't get me wrong, because I was only playing through the game on the easiest difficulty as well, so I was like really pulling my hair out, and I watched a video, and this guy, like, no fear whatsoever, he just stood in the middle of this tunnel. You could feel your control vibrating, you can hear the worm coming, but he wasn't even looking at a specific side, because it can come from your left or right. And when I was doing it, I was like paranoid as hell, just locked onto one side, praying that it would come to the side I was looking at. And this guy, was looking at the wall in front of him, charged up his attack, where he timed it right, hit the worm, and then it was crazy because the worm stopped, and it was his chance to hit the worm, and he was like jumping, doing some crazy thing that made him, well, look like invisible, and he's just unleashing like the sickest combos you've ever seen. It was just mad. And he's, you know, obviously he knew what he was doing. He had the knowledge of his combos and whatnot, but it's just the persistency as well. The persistency and consistency is what I lack on this game. Because I'll have really good runs where, you know, I'll be doing alright in fights, my combos are going good, I've got the right ideas. You can see now, one-on-one situation with these massive things, mechs slash monsters, I'm not doing too bad. Probably because I'm on the brink of death, I've nothing to lose, and, you know, I'm giving it my all. But I don't survive against this one. And then sometimes I'll start getting wiped out by normal infantry guys, you know what I mean? But you know, practice will eventually make perfect. I just need to put the time into the game, basically. I'll play it on and off, and then, you know, that's not the way forward with the game. But anyway, there you have it, guys. Throwback Thursday, Ninja Gaiden 2. Hope you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll speak to you all soon.